countries that are not able to have any input on who their leaders are or what decisions are going to be made that affect them. I'm going to tell you why you should vote. In the United States, we are voting on a party system most of the time. That person that you're voting for represents that party and is supposed to vote in the best interest of their own constituents. Though I do not agree with the party system, it does appear to simplify things for some people. I am not going to go into any specifics as far as the party systems in my speech, because I just want to touch on the areas of why I think you should vote and keep all the other politics out of it. My name is Justin Hodges, and I'm going to tell you why you should vote. Today, I'm going to teach you some of the history of voting in the United States, answer your questions that every vote does count, and how you make a difference when you vote. Let's go over some of the history of voting. As far back as 1789, the people of the United States have voted for their president. Since then, there have been a total of 56 elections that we have participated in, we the people of the United States. The Constitution of the United States does not give you direct rights to vote. It does, however, set requirements for voting. As with everyone, the process of voting had to evolve, because in 1786, the first people that were even eligible to vote were white male property owners over the age of 21. Since then, we have obviously made extreme and very necessary changes to those original requirements. Now that you know some very small parts about the history of voting in the United States, let's see if every vote counts. Some people say, why vote because my vote does not count anyway? I have agreed with them in the past. I say it is your privilege to vote and your responsibility to pick the best person or persons for the position of president, just one position of all. The following elections were done. They could have totally been different if it had just been a few votes in either direction. These are specific and got from several sources. Richard Nixon would have become president over John F. Kennedy in 1960 if one person from each party would have placed their votes differently. That's a presidential election. If just one U.S. senator had voted differently in 1867, Andrew Johnson would have been removed from office. And last but not least, in 1845, Texas, the big state of Texas, might not have become part of the United States if just one senator had voted differently. All these cases, very close. See, anything is possible with just a few votes. We all know how the more recent elections in our lifetime have went, and they were all very close, especially the most recent elections. Now that you know that your vote does count and can be extremely important, how about we look at how you make a difference? Every single American can vote in our elections. Obviously, there are restrictions set forth by the Constitution and various laws, but some of the elections are for things like becoming president, and other things may be to pass a referendum, whatever your community would want or have, for a school district to build a new school. Your vote is going to affect everyone around you in what I hope is a positive way. According to knoxclerk.org, and there are so many sites that cover why you should vote out there, about 150 million American citizens are eligible to vote. Sadly, most of them do not. The good thing about the most recent votes is the participation is up. As I was telling you earlier, you're going to choose the path of your local, state, and federal leadership. You're going to make decisions on things like who our next Supreme Court Justice will be by voting for the person you believe is the best to make those decisions, the president. Or if our taxes are going to go up because we need to have a new baseball park in our community. No matter what your thought is on election day, what you choose to put on your ballot affects everyone, and you had the input to make change. Positive or negative, you still had that input. You should now have a basic understanding of how you make a difference when it comes to voting. Let's go over everything else we covered today. Today I told you about some very small parts of the history of voting and when it began in the United States. Then we touched on how every vote counts and a single vote can change the world forever. And finally, I told you how you can make a difference. No matter your belief or who should win or if you should have that new baseball park in your community, you cannot say anything if you just do not take a few minutes to be part of the process. Thank you and good night.